Hey everybody, welcome back. Special night, Friday, long week. It's steak night. And today we have a special guest who you may or may not be able to see and who may or may not look like me, Mr. Omar. Hey, finally we make some steak. Yalla, show us how. Welcome, welcome. I provide some comedic relief because my brother Kimo, he is not very funny. His wife tells him he's not funny, but you know, he doesn't listen. She shakes her head and rolls her eyes. You know, I don't know. He doesn't listen to anyone. So I provide comedic relief. He tells you how to cook. Okay. All right. So steak. First of all, let's talk about buying the steak and what you're supposed to buy and how you're supposed to buy and all that stuff. So when you go to the grocery store, and I know ideally you want to go to a butcher, okay, and ask him or her for your favorite cut of steak and make sure it's as thick as possible, okay? So the ideal thickness here is, for me, and the cut that I buy is a ribeye. That's all I buy. Maybe New York strips if they're available and if it's well marbled and so on, but I buy a ribeye. Why? Because it's tender and it has a lot of flavor and it has a lot of fat and marbling, and we're going to talk about that here in a second, okay? And when I buy it, if it's a butcher, I will ask them for as thick as possible. So I go 3 fingers deep or 2 inches thick, okay? I don't buy the thin stuff. I buy 3 inches, 2 inches deep or 3 fingers thick. And if you go to Italy, they'll tell you it's 4 fingers, and anything less than that is a carpaccio, which I kind of understand, but that's what I buy. Ya Karim, yalla, bisara shwaya, this is taking too long. Come on, let's talk about the meat. Okay, so the steak, ribeye, thick, okay? Don't buy the little thin stuff, buy the thick stuff. Okay, so you're telling me buy a steak that's not skinny like you, but fat like me. Fat like you, ya khuya, it's not skinny like me. Meshi? Mesh. Okay. All right. Then, next thing you want to do is make sure that it's marbled. Okay? So, what I mean by marbled is, marble, what marble? Marble like the, these bowls that you play with? Naya Baba, not marble like the bowls that you play with. Marbling like fat in the meat. Fat in the meat. Okay, like fat in the meat. Fat in the meat. Okay. So, what you don't want, just switch way, خلينا نتكلم هنا, okay? You can have fat on the outside in chunks, but that's not really what you're looking for. What you're looking for is marbling fat inside the fibers of the meat, okay? And here is not as good as I would like for it to be, but you're at the mercy of the grocery store and what they have. Ideally, you want to go to a butcher and get your meat from there. But if you don't and you have to go to the grocery store, you're kind of at their mercy. So get as much, look at what they have, the selection, and find something with a lot of marbling inside the meat. They're going to try and sell you on the crap. Don't buy the crap. Don't buy meat with big chunks of fat in it, because that's going to weigh the meat down. You're paying for fat that you're not going to eat anyway. Okay? So marbling on the inside. Why marbling on the inside? Tell me, akhuya, why marbling on the inside? Marbling on the inside tenderizes the meat and makes it nice and soft. Like baby soft. Like baby soft. Baby soft, okay? So, get that. Then, to prepare it, you want to salt this thing, okay? And I like to use a salt, pepper, and some dried herbs mixture. I don't like to do dry rubs. I don't like to do marinades. Personally, I just don't do any of those, okay? I use salt, pepper, and some dry herbs. And you want to salt it liberally, okay? Not too much, but not too little, okay? Because what you want is for that salt to penetrate inside the meat, flavor it, and tenderize it, okay? It's also going to dehydrate the meat a little bit, which is good, because you don't want as much water in the meat as you can get. The less water in the meat, the more flavorful the meat becomes, okay? Now, why do I like to buy ribeyes, and specifically ribeyes, is because it's got so much flavor in it already, okay? And it's already nice and tender, but you're tenderizing it some more with some salt, okay? So The cuts of meat that you do want to marinate are your flat iron and skirt steaks. Those things are extremely tough cuts of meat that you absolutely must marinate in some kind of oil and vinegar mix, and whatever you want to do, look up a bunch of marinades online, and you want to leave them in the marinade for at least a few hours, because that will break the fibers down and tenderize them. You don't want to do that to really nice expensive cuts, because you're wasting your money. Okay, these are already tender and you don't need to do anything to them. I also don't like to dry rub them, because I don't want to taste the dry rub. I want to taste the meat itself. You want to taste the cow, not the spices. Yes, I want to taste the cow, not the spices. Okay, so the cow is the center of attention. Salt it liberally on both sides, and then throw it in the fridge for a few hours. Why in the fridge for a few hours uncovered? Because it allows that cool air to dehydrate the meat a little bit with the salt. And if you're not going to cook it for a few hours, then you need to put it in the fridge anyway. Okay? Don't cover it, because then you're going to get... just don't cover it. Okay? Just uncover it is fine. And then when we cook it, tell us about the cooking. Because the cooking is the hard part. Not the buying of the meat. I can go ask at the grocery store for a cow and he gives me a cow. But, how do I cook it? Okay. The way I like to cook it is it's on the grill. And I've got a gas grill. But I don't put it directly on the flames, or don't put it on the grates. Why, Yahuya? I put it on the grates because I like the lines. Well, if you like the lines, that's fine. But the problem is when you have fat in the meat, which this does have, that fat, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to melt, and it's going to flare. And then you get brown bits, or black charred meat. Sah, wallahi bardo. Sah. I always overcook the meat, and it's always black when it comes out and it looks like a piece of rock. Yeah, you don't want to do that. So listen to me. Okay. So I use a cast iron pan or a flat cast iron griddle, just flat. And I put that on the gas grill. So it's going to allow the meat to cook in there, contained, right? And any of the fat that gets rendered, which it will cook the meat and will flavor the meat even more. So that's ideally what you want. At least that's what I do, okay? So get the grill nice and hot, put the pan on, get that nice and hot. Actually, put the pan on, turn the grill on, get it nice and hot to where the pan's smoking hot, right? You see it smoking. That's good. Then I start with where the fat is, and I drop it vertically, and I render that fat for a minute or 2 minutes or whatever, and then I drop it down. All right, and I like to close the lid because I kind of like a little bit more of that, oven-like, cooking method to go. So I'll drop it down, I don't know, until that side's crusty, and I flip it, get that side crusty, and then I check the meat, okay? I look for medium rare, and I kind of know what that feels like. You're gonna have to probably use a thermometer if you're not used to that. So about 140-ish, not more than that, stay to 140. And then, make sure that when you do flip, you're crusting both sides almost evenly, and then pull it off when it's 140. Yeah, and I think that's it. A lot of people would want to, I've talked to a lot of my friends, and they like to do all kinds of weird stuff. They reverse sear, and for, I don't know, 250 for whatever, and then sear it on both sides on high for this and this, and look, it's too complicated. I like to simplify my life and get back to basics, and I'm trying to share with you how to do it basics, get back to basics. That's too complicated, and it's too scientific, and cooking is not meant to be science, okay? Baking is science, that's very precise, but cooking is an art form, and you should just be, I would love if you kind of, work with the basics, get your technique right, and then you can experiment with whatever you want. But also the whole timing of 2 minutes on one side, 2 minutes on the other side, all that crap bullshit is not, to me, I never listen to it, because it depends on how thick the meat is, for one thing. and it depends on the cut of meat, it depends on how hot your grill is, and all that stuff. There's a lot of variables that timing, to me, does not work, okay? And I don't suggest you do that. Hot, searing hot, drop it down, crust it, turn it over, crust it, and then check for your doneness level. Use a thermometer if you have to, and that's what you go by. When it hits 140, you take it off. Why medium rare? Because that is ideal for cooking temperature. I mean, even if you go rare, it's still safe, but I like medium rare. And it provides, I think, the best flavor and the best tenderness for the steak. You go medium and above, it starts, you're on the decline, right? In terms of tenderness, in terms of flavor, in terms of it drying out. And if you talk to my parents, and we have arguments about this all the time. Oh, Yahuya, tell me about your parents. Your parents like to cook it like a rock. Yeah, they like it like a rock. I mean, if I cook it for them, they would prefer if I cook the damn thing, and if I just drop it down on the plate, it shatters with the plate. That's how hard they want it. Because they feel like that is the right level of doneness for them not to get sick. And I can tell you, I've been cooking steaks for 20, 30 plus years, and I've never once gotten sick. Okay? So, trust me, medium rare, it's the right ideal temperature for flavor and for tenderness. Just try it. Don't be afraid of a little blood. It's fine, as long as it's not raw. Even if it's raw, it's fine. Even rare is fine. But just get it to where it's not raw, but it's still a little bloody. That's perfect. Okay, did you hear my dog? She just sneezed. Okay, so we're gonna grill it. We're gonna come back. We're gonna let it rest. So you need to let it rest for at least 5 or 10 minutes after you grill it, because it allows the meat, the fibers, when they hit high heat like that, they're not happy, right? They're not happy, relaxed. They're contracted, and they're not happy. So you need to let it come back to room temperature a little bit, let them relax, and let them reabsorb all the meat juices, right? If you cut into it immediately after pulling it off the grill, it's gonna lose a lot of its juices, and it's gonna be dry as hell. So don't do that. Let it rest for 5-10 minutes. If you're afraid of it getting too cool, just tent a little foil, and I'll show you that when I pull it off. Tent a little foil, and that keeps it somewhat warm. Do not under any circumstance wrap this thing tightly with foil like your parents taught you. Okay? Don't do it. Why? Because it steams and it destroys the crust that you've spent so much time building. Okay? So don't do it. All right, so let's summarize. As thick of a meat as you can get. Really good cuts, like the most expensive cuts you can find. Prime rib is nice. Filet. My buddy Christos, he loves fillets. They're very, very tender, even though they're not marbled, but they're very, very tender. I personally like ribeyes, New York strips, very nicely marbled. As thick as you can get. Salt heavily, both sides, put it in the fridge for a couple hours. Take it out, room temperature, really hot grill, cast iron if you can. Try not to get it directly on the grates. If you like the grill marks, fine, but you're dealing with flare-ups, so just try not to manage that. Watch it closely. Cast iron, crusts, both sides, medium rare, pull it off, tent it, wait for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then slice through it. And when I slice through it, I'll show you, I slice against the grain. So if you look at it here, this is the grain's going down this way, so I'm going to slice across the grain. Why? Because it tenderizes the meat. And it's beautiful. I could make a chimichurri that goes with it, but I don't have all the right herbs. So we're just going to focus on making steak. All right? We're going to get that right, and it's going to be beautiful. And my buddy, Omar, over here, is hopefully going to enjoy it. Oh, I've been wanting to eat a cow for 5 months. But you've been starting this channel in December, and it's been 5 months. I've been waiting for the cow, and finally the cow is here. So I get to eat. Okay, thank you for inviting me. And I hope my humor was somewhat funny, because Chemo is not funny. Again, his wife, Jessica, she tells him you're not funny, but he doesn't listen. I know, but I try. Yes, you're good at trying, because, you have to try, otherwise you die. So, Okay, so we'll be back after this is done. And we'll wrap up. See you soon. All right, we are back with our steak. I don't know if Omar is going to be joining us. He might be outside, hanging out, enjoying the weather out there. So we'll see. He may just pop in. We don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, so this is the tent that I was talking about. Took it off, let it rest, just tented it. It's very open on both sides over here so that it doesn't steam and kill the crust. So take this off. And I was wrong. And this is why I don't look at temperatures. I don't look at minutes, and none of that works for me, right? I did say that medium rare is 140. Incorrect. It's actually medium to medium well. That's 140. Medium rare is actually 125. So 125. I was wrong. I apologize. Please don't kill me, and I hope you didn't just stop watching because I said something wrong. It's 125, okay? So I actually pulled it off the grill when it was 120. Why? Because as it sits, there's carryover cooking that happens. So it will continue to cook a little bit more, and the temperature will raise by a few degrees. So I didn't want it to go past 125. Now the moment of truth now is going to be when I slice it and I see some blood coming out. It's been resting for a little bit. Maybe I'll invite Omar for a little comic relief to give it another couple of minutes before we dig into this. So Omar, hey Habibi, it's now time to eat the cow. Yes, it's time to eat the cow. And look at it. Yeah, it's very nice. Look at this. It's a big piece of cow. I don't know. It's fat like me, and I'm ready. I'm ready to eat. Okay, shall we go? Shall we cut? Yes, please. I'm hungry. Yalla. بسرعة شوية. بسرعة. Okay, so remember when I said I'm going to cut across the grain? The grain looks like it's kind of going this way, right? So I am going to cut. I'm actually going to go that way, right? So cut at 90 degree against the grain. And the moment of truth, I either screwed this up royally, or it was okay, or it was awesome. So let's see. And what I like to do when I start sort of carving this is I like to use an angle, right? And it's just what the professionals use, and it just looks nicer. All right, I think we're okay, guys. Oh yeah. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but we'll see. Let's see. All right, let's just put it on this plate. Actually, let's cut up a little bit more. The inside is going to be, yeah, nice and pink. Oops. Okay, let's do a little more. But you see how the juices aren't completely flowing out? And that's because we left, we let it sit for a bit. All right, do you see this? I'm sure. See that? I don't know if you could see it. I would actually like it to be a little bit more bloody than this. So this, to me, this is good. It's medium rare. It's kind of on the starting to get into the medium zone. I would like for it to be more red, okay? And that's just my personal preference. It's how medium rare should be. But I know it's not for everybody. So, you know, do what you please. I pulled it out at 120 and then let it rest for 5, maybe 10 minutes while I was doing the pasta. And I think this is what we got. So I'm just gonna cook this down here. I'm just gonna put it on this plate, and we're just gonna share this. We're just gonna pick through it. The dog is gonna be extremely happy, and we're gonna go with that. Okay, Omar, so what do you think, man? Was it good? Hey, right. Ah, this is very nice, man. It's very nice. There's a lot of red, and it's nice and crusty, and it's not steamy. You know, if you had covered it, it would have been very steamy. I was listening, you see, I was listening. You're still not very funny, but I was listening. So the education was good. And it looks very delicious, and it's very tender. It's very, very tender. So you're correct. You should buy the ribeye, and you should get as much marbling on the inside as you can, so that it becomes a little bit more tender, so we can enjoy a nice juicy, you know, steak, so I can get more fat. Yeah, shukran, by the way. I'm gonna get more fat thanks to you, yeah. And that's our friend Omar. So he might be back. I would like to come back, yes, why not? I mean, you're my brother. I want to share in this experience with you. So he might be back. If you don't like the comedy of Mr. Omar and you want to see him off into the sunset, please do so in the comments. But if you do like his comic relief, please indicate as much, and I might be able to invite him back, and he might grace us with his honorable presence. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Cow Meat, and I hope this is to your liking. And I hope you go out and try and do it the way I've shared. And don't measure, don't time, just use your senses, right? We need to get back to basics. We need to stop digitizing our lives. We need to stop measuring every freaking second of our lives. Just use your senses. Use your common sense, use your senses, and just try it and see how it goes. And if it doesn't come out right, find out why, adjust, try it again. I mean, I never got it perfect the first time. Nobody does. You have to keep trying, right? So do that. Stop with the timers. They don't help you. Understand what medium rare is. Feel it. Use a thermometer at the beginning and then feel it just to kind of sense, give yourself a sense that, oh, I see, 120, that's how it feels the first couple of times until you kind of get used to it. And then just try it. All I ask is that you keep cooking. All right? I hope you enjoyed this. Omar, any final words? Yes, I really like this. This is very good. It's going to be a nice dinner. We have some good steak. We have some pasta with lemon sauce, with lemon juice. And we're going to make a salad. There's arugula and spinach and pear and blue cheese and vinaigrette and some chopped nuts. So I'm very happy. Thank you for inviting me. This was very nice, very kind of you. And I hope you invite me again. And I like the camera. So I like talking in front of the camera and making fun of you. So bring me back. And that's it. Happy cooking.